What's up, YouTube? It's Mark here from NxtLvLTech at Android TV.tips. How are we doing today on a Feel Good Friday? Can you hear me okay? Am I coming through all right? I know I was having some audio issues the past couple days. Been changing a lot of things up with my setup. So let me know if you guys can hear me okay. As you can see, Mike C's name is still on my hat from last week, Friday, for dropping a super chat. Thank you. Another huge shout out to Roland for upgrading to the next level. Johnny M, Sandy B, Ultimate Streams, The One, Grunt Streams, and The Butcher for joining the membership squad. All right, I'm going to take this off because it's getting a little hot in here. Woo! So everybody, make sure you hit that thumbs up when you come in. Leave a comment. Let everybody know what's up. Jeremy says he was the first one in here. Mibsin, what's going on? I know, screen jerks. Jason Boya, what's up? Preppy Mama, how you doing? Shrinking Sharon, Red Lantern. Yeah, you can hear me fine. Okay, I've done a whole bunch of upgrades. I know you guys are used to seeing me with a green screen. I still have a lot of things that I'm changing up with my desk and everything else. I got my webcam. I still want to figure out how I'm going to change it because every time I touch my desk, it shakes. So I got to change that. So let me know if you guys have noticed the improvement on my sound quality. But I hope you guys are feeling good today. Today, I am going to be talking a little bit about issues when it comes to streaming, and not just technical issues. I might get a little bit into, emotional issues. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. We'll see what's up. Might do a little bit of Q&A. I tried to get a hold of Rohas, but I wasn't able to get a hold of him. So we're just going to roll, and he'll probably join in a little bit. So I think the question we're going to start this off with is, when you guys first start to have issues, what's some of the first things that everybody does? We talk about this all the time. I'm not even going to throw this into a chat as a question, but the first thing we always do is restart everything. Doesn't matter what you got. You got issues with your computer, you restart your computer. You got issues with, I don't know, your microphone, you restart your microphone. You got issues with your phone, you restart your phone. No, it doesn't matter what it is. Doesn't matter what it is. All right. You got issues with something, you restart it, right? But what happens if you've done everything that you know how to do? What's your next step? Like, where do you go from there? You know what I mean? And I don't know. Maybe I'm just maybe I'm trying to figure out how to word this. I've just seen lately that a lot of people, maybe it's because, 2020 is a very interesting year, but a lot of people are on a short fuse, and they don't necessarily have the patience either to wait for a response. Just emotions just seem to be there. And I think I'm just doing this as like a PSA, but everybody has a personal life. Doesn't matter what it is. And there's groups for a reason. I know a lot of us in the streaming community ask people to join groups for a reason. We can't always be everywhere at the same time. And there's a lot more you guys out there in the groups than there are people that are running groups or people who are trying to help. And I mean, sometimes when you need the help, we're not always around. Octavia, that was funny. What do you do if you've done everything you can? You throw it at a wall. That's right. You throw it at a wall, you throw it out the window, you do whatever you got to do. But if you've reached that roadblock and you've done everything that you know how to do, I think I'm just doing a PSA and I'm asking everybody just to have a little bit of patience. That's it. There's been what's up, Jeremy? When did you move it, Rojas? That's my Yoda. That's not Rojas. I'm just asking everyone to have a little bit of patience. All the information is typically put out in groups. So before you get upset because someone's not responding to you in a timely manner, or you don't know what you're doing because you want to watch your favorite show and or whatever's happening. If you go to the groups, you're going to get the information you need. And if you don't, ask. That's it. It's as simple as that, right? But when you join these groups, you also want to be respectful. A lot of them have simple rules. Like, you join these groups, you got to have a profile picture. It's pretty much standard. I know if you join the Android TV tips group, right, the first thing that comes up, hey, it's a requirement when you join this group to have a profile picture. It's not saying, hey, add a profile picture if you like to, because I'll tell you, some of the admins and mods that help us behind the scenes clear out accounts from the group that do not have profile pictures at the end of the night. Because we have a lot of people that'll join, they'll troll, there'll be fake accounts. Sometimes there'll be spam bots, they'll spam other groups. Sometimes inappropriate stuff gets drops in the group because of this stuff. So we're trying to keep the groups as friendly for you guys as we can. And this is one of the rules that majority of the groups out there have. You have to have a profile picture. So for instance, JM's in the chat. So I'm going to call her out, because JM does a fantastic job with helping out in the Telegram group. JM will personally hit up people that joins the group and say, hey, do you know how to add a profile picture? This is how you add it. And a lot of times she gets slack. And I'm ranting today. I'm seriously ranting today, because I don't always have the time to be there all the time looking at what's going on in these groups. I don't. And I see the messages, but I'm driving, or Thursdays and Fridays are the busiest days of the week for me. And I'm a million places at the same time. I can't even find a moment to sit down. Like, I'm running in through the door Fridays after picking up my kid, getting this live stream started to come hang out with you guys. But then I have a million people in the group or questions coming through, and I can't be in both places. So I look at this as, I don't want to look at it, but like, I want to be here with you guys. And the only way that I can do that on a schedule is to have people utilize the groups in a respectful way. That's it. So if people can't utilize the groups in a respectful way, I can't do everything that I'm passionate about. I can't help everybody, and I can't be putting out content on YouTube, and I can't be doing live streams, and trying to make sure that everyone's experience is as good as it can be, at least when it comes to me, because I'm always trying to make sure that you guys can get everything you can from me. And when I'm pulled in a million different directions all the time, it's hard to do that. That's I'm ranting. So, I mean, it is what it is. I'm just saying, just be patient. Sometimes we're going to see people that are frustrated. And even though when we're trying to help them, it's easy for us to get frustrated with them. Instead of saying something that could be out of line, just take a step back, do whatever you got to do. But it's a PSA for everyone to be as respectful as possible. So I know for myself, it's hard for me to keep up with everything. I'm trying my best. I'll be completely blunt. There's a lot of people that I still need to catch up with, a lot of messages I still need to catch up with. I try to keep everything in the same place. I used to, deal with people on Facebook. I used to have 3 Facebook groups, a Facebook page, a personal Facebook account, Instagram, Twitter, Telegram, emails, 2 different email accounts. And now I'm pretty much like, yo, if you want to hit me up, it's Telegram. That's it. Because I can't be chasing every single platform all the time. So in order for me to keep my sanity, like, I'm just trying to streamline everything so I can keep up with everybody. That's it, right? Yeah, man, I don't know. Like, I didn't want to rant today. I really didn't, but I kind of have to. Like, what's up, Philly? So okay, you know what? All right. Ernie says the only thing that really hurts streaming is when things change and no one is informed until something hits the fan. A lot of times stuff is posted in the groups. It is all the time, like well in advance. There were some changes that happened today, and I had posted about them coming up since September. We're going into November next, like tomorrow. and people are oblivious. And I tell people all the time, yo, you got to join the Telegram group. You got to join the Telegram group. Even people that have been messaging me after my stuff on Facebook went down, I still told them, I was like, you're gonna find me on Telegram. You're gonna find me on Telegram. And I would still give them the information, but I'm like, you're gonna get a quicker response on Telegram because I'm not on Facebook anymore. I'm not here. I'm not here. So, you know, even when stuff hits the fan, it's like, is it really that bad? It's not. I don't know. Like some of the simplest solutions today. So I know you guys probably saw the thumbnail. It's like this video can't be played. So sometimes when it comes to, premium services, DNS changes or applications change. A lot of times when we talk about streaming your favorite TV shows and movies, we tell people have a backup. Don't just use one application. You know what I mean? So if you're not going to stick to just, Cinema HD, or if you're not going to stick to, just using what is it called, Movie Plus or whatever the heck it is, all the other movie apps that are out there, BTV, TTV, Viva, Nova, whatever it is, don't just stick to one. Why would you only stick to one when it comes to playing your favorite TV service? You always want to have a backup. For myself, if I'm having an issue, and I've tried everything, have I tried changing the player? Have I tried changing the application? Have I checked a filing store to see if there's an updated application? Like it's before you throw your hands up in the air, there's support out there, and there's things that are put in place to help everybody. So I get that people get frustrated, but it's never as bad as it is. That's it. That's all it is. So I guess that's a little bit of a rant that I went through for like 12 minutes straight. I'm sorry, you guys, if you guys came out to feel good and I was ranting. I apologize. I think I just had to get that off my chest. But yo, it's Feel Good Friday. So what do you guys want to talk about today? I was going to do Q&As. We can talk about buffering. We can talk about applications, whatever you guys want to talk about. I'm only going to be on until about 4:30, 4:45 the most, because I'm super busy today. Here, let's check this out. Rick S says, I use 5 different apps for movies and 2 different services, and they always have a backup. Even if you use 5 different services, right? You have 5 backups for a live service. You're paying less per month than a lot of people pay for cable. For real though, like there is so much value that you get from, these TV show movie applications, that you get from live services, that you get from debrid services. There's so many good things that come out of it. I mean, like, shoot, how many people watch Mulan the first day it came out and didn't have to pay $30 for it? Like Mandalorian is coming out today. I don't know if it's out yet, but Mandalorian season 2, episode 1 is out today. Like you can stream that as soon as it comes out. Like there's so many benefits to understanding, doing your own research, having multiple applications. I always tell people you want to use at least 2 different apps for everything. Doesn't matter if it's TV shows and movies, doesn't matter if it's live services, doesn't matter what it is. Your favorite application when it comes to navigation, right? Even for TV shows and movies, may not pull everything that you want. Even if you have real debrid, you have all debrid, you have premiumized, you put that into your, let's say, Cinema HD. Cinema HD is going to have different scrapers, different sources for TV shows and movies. You know what I mean? So if I can't find something, I'm going to be looking in other applications. You don't want to wait to the moment where you can't find something not to know what your backup applications is. You want to be prepared. Like you want to do your research. You want to make sure that, you know where to go, or at least where to ask. Yeah, see? It's out. Okay, fine. Mandalorian's out now. Yo, check this out. Technic says, I'm thinking about canceling both Prime and Netflix. I'm pretty sure you meant Prime by Amazon there. So I've never had Netflix. Never. Not once. But I'm not a huge movie fan. Like I watch when I want to watch something, I'll watch it. But like there's not stuff that I want to watch religiously. Like I don't have shows that I want to watch religiously that comes out and it's on demand or whatever. For years, I would just go back and just watch Star Trek. I would just watch The Next Generation, Voyager. Like I'm kind of a little bit of a Trekkie, just a little bit, you know. So let's see what the one says. I should always read his comments before I put them on the screen. Anyways, the thing is, I don't get accustomed to using only one certain thing. You need to keep an open mind because things can split in a second. Just don't use free flicks. That's like a golden rule in the streaming community. Yo, it sounds good. Well, you can get live TV and movies in the same place. But that application worked for maybe the first few months when they were developing hard and they were updating it. And then after, it was just like, what is going on here? A lot of the links were down. A lot of the live TV stuff was down. That's the thing. So it comes down to you're going to like navigating certain apps. Certain apps are going to have different content. They're going to be able to find different things. And sometimes you're going to have to sacrifice navigation. Sometimes you're going to have to sacrifice quality. Sometimes you're going to have to sacrifice maybe even a little bit of coin to get yourself a Debrid service. I can tell you that when big things get released in better quality, they are released on torrent sites before they're released anywhere else. And the only way your applications are going to be able to scrape those sites is if you're using a Debrid service. If you're one of the people that are like, I got to watch this, I got to watch it now, as soon as it comes out, then you got to have yourself a Debrid service. I know personally for myself, just because of what I do and I test all these applications, I have all the Debrid services. I have Premiumize, I have all Debrid, I have Real Debrid. I have all that stuff because I want to test them. I want to test them in all different applications. It's that moment when I can't find what I want to watch that makes having all those Debrid services clutch. Like, for real. It's that moment when you're sitting there and you're like, I can't find what I want to watch. And that frustration hits and that kicks in. So I just want to make sure I'm prepared for that. That's all it is, right? Some rules of thumb. If you're waiting for something to drop, this is the year that you should do a quick Google search and check to see if it got delayed, because there was movies and TV shows that were announced to drop all year, and some of them got pushed back till next year. So if you're searching and you're getting frustrated because because of a past fact that it was supposed to drop and you can't find it in a TV show and movie app, then do a search. Like a lot of times people ask questions that maybe I don't know the answer to, but I'll just go and I'll search for it. I'll do a little research. I'll drop the question in Google just like any one of you guys could. That's it. You know what I mean? So just take those few seconds, turn that frustration into ambition, and go do a little research, do a quick Google search, go into one of the groups, pull up that search icon, type whatever you're looking for in, and see, hey, has somebody asked this question? Is the answer out there? I mean, it's so much quicker just to read it versus, waiting for someone to respond to you. I'm just saying, it's out there. Yo, Brooklyn, enough respect. I appreciate what you do, man. Thank you. Yeah, I'm ranting. I guess I should have just titled this Next Level Rant, because I'm just going off 20 minutes straight. Let me see what I missed in the chat. Let me see. See here. There's pinned messages for a reason. When you join chats, if you've never used an application, take a moment. What's in front of you? What do you see? All right. There's a place for you to enter a comment, a place for you to enter a message. Up at the top, there's usually the name, and then there's usually some kind of, important information up there. When you join, usually you're hit up with, hey, these are the group rules, or this is that, or that's that. Just take a moment and take it in. Just it's not scary. Just I promise you, it's not gonna hurt you too much. We don't bite. We don't bite that hard. Oh man. Okay. All right. I'm just making sure I'm not missing anything. I'm just reading some of these comments, man. And that's it. Like we have to understand that, people are a little bit on thin ice these days, I think. And instead of just lashing back, just take a moment and let them have their moment, I guess. That's it. Just like sometimes I need to vent, people need to vent too. Octavia says, you should feel good now. You got that off your chest. Sorry, guys. I'm just trying to catch up on the message and making sure I don't want to miss anything. So just to add to this, right, about canceling both Amazon and Netflix, let's talk a little bit about that. I mean, Amazon Prime, Netflix, Disney Plus, Hulu, Sling, YouTube TV, whatever you want to call it, all these services that are available now, are they bad? No, they're not. Are they still giving you a value? For sure. I don't know how many of you guys watched the interview that we did with Lee TV from Supreme Builds, but he says, he calls it cable shaving because he's never canceled his cable, right? He's kept his cable the whole time. It's not saying he doesn't have services or use services or no services or anything like that. That would be cheaper than paying for cable. But at the end of the day, we can't judge somebody else's streaming experiences because of what we want from our streaming experiences. You know what I mean? Yo, hold on, we got a special guest. What's good, man? How you doing today?
I'm about to punch somebody in the face.
Okay, well, I hope it's not me because I've been ranting for like 20 minutes, man. All right, you need a moment? I'll keep ranting.
Keep ranting.
Okay, I'll keep ranting.
Give me like 2 minutes.
This is a very, I've been thinking about this a lot lately. I should have just named this Next Level's Rant because I'm going off today. I'm going off. You can't judge somebody else's streaming experiences on what you want. For instance, here's a prime example. This guy beside me right now loves quality, loves surround sound, loves 4K, loves Sonos speakers and 8K TVs and all that kind of good stuff. Hey, I just want something on the TV. I want to be able to hear it over my chicken wings. That's it. You know what I mean? I don't care if it's 4K. I mean, if it looks good, there's some really good 1080p's out there for real. You know what I mean? But I can't go over to Rohas and be like, yo, Rohas, why are you paying $30 for Mulan? You can get it on the streaming application. That's not for me to judge. You know what I mean? Everybody has their own expectations when it comes to their streaming experience. There's times when I see people come into the streaming community and they're like, why would you do that? Why would you have Netflix? Why would you have Disney Plus? Why would you have Prime? Why would you? Yo, it's not up to you. Some of these people, they know, but they still want this stuff because why? Reliability, convenience, navigation, maybe. I mean, you can't doubt that applications like Disney Plus and Netflix has a nice navigation. They got dough to dump into these applications to really make them fluid, to make them run off really nice servers. You know what I mean? They have obviously the content available to put it out in the best quality possible when it comes to your connection, when it comes to variable bit rates, when it comes to all that kind of stuff. So however people choose to stream, that's on them. All you can do is take it at face value when they ask a question and you choose to help. Because at the end of the day, you have two options. You can choose to help or you don't, right? you get involved or you don't. And sometimes not getting involved isn't a bad thing, right? Sometimes you got to bite your tongue instead of saying something that could be taken the wrong way, that could spin something in the wrong perspective. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know if I'm saying, I don't know if you guys understand what I'm saying, but I'm just saying, you know, don't judge people on your own expectations. That's it. Oh my goodness.
So what was the rant all about?
Yo, I've been ranting about all kinds of stuff. I'm just saying, like, the synopsis was don't get frustrated, use the groups, check for information, learn how to Google.
Learn how to Google.
I'm just, you know, there's a lot of things. There's a lot of tools that people aren't utilizing to their full capabilities. You know, there's a lot of things out there, like when they join the groups, there's information right in their face already, and they choose not to see it. So, and here's the thing, Blemo. Yeah, see, Blemo. I say 1 in 3 people has a service like Netflix, and the other 2 out of 3 are borrowing from that person that actually pays for it. And here's a good point. Prime is more than just movies. It's true. It's true. Besides shipping, let's ask let's ask this in the chat. Besides shipping with Prime, what is the next most important part of being a Prime member to you? So aside from, because everyone's going to say shipping, I want that same day, that next day, that in your face shipping. If that's not a factor, what's the next thing for Prime that's important to you?
Are you asking me?
Everybody. Question in the chat. If you want to talk on it, go for it. Like,
Well, they're telling you to shut up.
are there?
They're like, he just won't shut up. Oh, man. So you mute yourself? Oh, man. So, okay. So what are we talking about? We're talking about Googling stuff, like the best ways of Googling things. Googling.
So I was ranting a bit because, you know, sometimes when things go down, they don't necessarily go down. It could be the application, it could be a player, maybe something changed and you just need to be updated. You know what I mean? So how do you find that information? Where's your next step? Like, what do you do? Just kind of, I've just been ranting about that, really.
So they're saying Prime videos, music, TV shows, music, and home delivery products and services. Yeah, honestly, just simply Google stuff. It's not hard. Whatever it is that you're looking for. Actually, didn't I just like say something to you just recently too? Like, dude, like all I did was Google this, and then I found some kind of image about something. I forget what it was.
Probably. Hey, we're all guilty of it. I'm just saying. Sometimes we need a reminder.
That's the number one thing I do no matter what. I Google it and I just try to and I won't trust the first source that I pull up. I will look at multiple. If it's on YouTube, even then I would look at multiple reviews before I really like say, cool, I'm gonna download this APK or I'm gonna purchase this product or whatever it is, you know? Google and YouTube are your best friends. Yeah, for sure.
Jeremy says, when you use real Debrid, Premiumize, all Debrid, do you recommend the links that are yellow that say that are torrents or HLS? Seems to be most of the yellow links usually say that they're torrents. Okay, so I'm actually You know what? I'm going to share an article because I'm corny as hell. So I just shared a link. Link literally says the title of my blog post is "Cash Me Outside" because I'm corny as hell. So this article that I wrote on my website talks all about what is a cache torrent and is it bad. It goes into all kinds of detail. I'm not going to read this and go over everything, but I mean, you guys can check it out. I posted it into the chat. Basically, when you see that, that torrent is cached on the real Debrid server. It's cached on the premiumized server. It's cached on the all Debrid server. The Debrid service that you're using, it's cached on their end. So it's not going to download on your side. Just because it says it's a torrent, it means that that source is coming from a torrent. It's coming from a website, but it's caching it on the Debrid side. You know what I mean? So it's not bad for you. If you're downloading torrents and you're not protected on your network, right? That's when you can get into trouble, especially with your ISPs and stuff like that if you're not using a VPN. I mean, all of us content creators, we all have VPNs we recommend. Bottom of our videos, you can check it out. There's affiliate links for VPNs that we use. Rohas has one. I have a couple in the bottom of my description as well. Sometimes we throw promotion codes for them, all kinds of stuff like that. But
so just in case anybody don't know what cached means.
oh, thank you.
Just in case you don't know what cached means. Cache means it's storing little bits and pieces of the information onto something, whatever that is. It just means it's being stored somewhere else and you're not getting a direct download or a direct connection. With I kind of have to play devil's advocate though with what NxtLvL is saying about being careful and not being careful with some of the stuff. If you're torrenting, straight torrenting, and it's not cached and you're getting things directly and it's downloading, chances are 99% of the chance you're going to get in trouble by your ISP. There's always that slim 1% chance that they'll just be like, whatever, we don't care. But you're going to get in trouble somehow, some way. Now, if it is cached somewhere else, chances are there's a possibility that you still could get in trouble. Even though you're not downloading it and it's not coming through and you're not seeding or whatever it is that's coming in or out, or you know what I mean? When you're not sharing it, your ISP can still say, hey, you were on the internet doing that. And there's there's this thing that you know a lot of us, like I always tell people, the best thing to do is have a VPN service no matter what. And sorry, I'm over here just trying to,
Oh man.
yeah, okay. What I would say this, I would say this. And it's funny too, because I think is Sandman in here?
I'm not sure. Yo, I've been ranting. I've been bad today.
You're not even paying attention. So if I'll say this, if you have to question it and say, hey, is this bad? Or could this possibly blah, blah, blah? You just answered your own question. If you got to question yourself about something, if you're like, hey, I'm not sure if this torrent is going to be safe or not, just best way to do is protect yourself. You know, the best way to do is protect yourself, period. That's I don't know. That's the only thing that I could really say with a lot of this stuff. And go ahead.
I'll add context to that. I mean, for sure. So, I mean, that's going to lead right into, is using a Debrid service safe then? Realistically, right? Because that's going to be caching information onto their servers. That's just how it goes, right? Okay, yeah, cool.
Give me like 5 minutes, guys. I'll be right back.
Yeah. So here's the thing. If you, and you know, it's a great point that Rohas makes there. If you ever have to question anything, is it safe? Am I comfortable? If you're not comfortable with anything, never put yourself in a situation where you're not comfortable with it. You know what I mean? If you don't feel comfortable in a situation, if you don't have all the answers to your questions, don't just dive into stuff you don't know. You know, I mean, there's places out there to get the answers. So when it comes to a debrid service, just like everything else, they are keeping some of your information on file for a period of time. It's one of the reasons we recommend VPN services. Every debrid services has a group of VPNs that they work with. So, you know, depending on the YouTubers that you talk to, depending on the YouTubers that you talk to, they're going to have different VPNs. Check to see if those VPNs are compatible with the debrid service you use. Simple. Then you can throw your VPN on, then you can have your debrid service running, and you're all good. Because most debrid services will keep your information on file between 30 days to a year, I believe, in regards to your history. Now, it is good practice to go in there, delete, you know, your history, all kind of good stuff like that. But at the end of the day, they do track some of your information. How else are they going to say, you know, you're only able to use one IP per account when you're streaming? Because you can't use real debrid in 2 different locations at the same time, right? But you can use it on as many unlimited devices as you want at the same location. We always recommend using a VPN service because we don't know, you know, next month, a week from now, a year from now, what's going to change. At the end of the day, we always tell you guys to cover your backsides. So before I get too far away from stuff, yo, Billy, thank you for always, you know, supporting what we do here. Enough love and appreciation. You're also a member. It means a lot for the support that you guys give. I don't want to lose track. So, yo, Red Lantern, thank you for the $4 super sticker. Octavia, I threw you on the hat because I think you were the last one that dropped a dono. Yeah. Thanks for giving us great information about topics and products and awesome Filelinked. You're welcome. All right, cool. So I think I caught up with all those. I didn't want to lose them because sometimes they go through the chat and you don't see them. Okay. So that's the thing, guys. Like, you want to make sure that if you're uncomfortable with the situation, how do you get yourself comfortable with the situation? You either remove yourself from a situation or you teach yourself about the unknown. So if you have questions about something, find the answers. If you still want to do something, find workarounds, find solutions, that kind of stuff. Paul says, next level talking sense tonight. Yo, Paul sees it all the time in the group too, man. Yo, Paul helps out enough in the group. Honestly, thank you, Paul. Mibzan, you help out like crazy. I see all those stuff that you guys do, but I'm not always around to say, you know, thank you or whatever. By the time I make it to my computer or I make it to my phone, it's answering messages. And that's what it is. And then sometimes I just want to put away my phone and have some personal time. See, true. Also, family, household, not everyone will be comfortable using alternative streaming methods. 100%. You could be the smartest person when it comes to cord cutting, cord shaving, whatever it is. But, you know, your kids or your wife or your husband or your brother, your sister, your aunt, your uncle, your monkey, they don't want to use all this other stuff. They're used to what they like. They're comfortable using what they use, right? I mean, what's the age-old saying? You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink. If it's not thirsty, it's not going to drink. You can educate, you can teach people. I mean, eventually, things are if people are upset with paying what they're paying, they're going to start asking the questions. But it's better for you to tell people that, you know, the answer's out there versus just shoving it in their faces because you don't want to turn people off at that point, right? Nothing but the best. Just bought that AudioQuest HDMI. Wow, what a difference. For real. Yo, cables, I'm telling you, cables make a difference. Yo, I just bought these cables. So cables make a difference no matter what it is. A cable is transferring power, it's transferring data, it's transferring information, and depending on, you know, that cable, how it's built, there's 2 factors: how much it can transfer, how much power it can transfer, how much bandwidth it can transfer, all that kind of stuff. as well as shielding from outside interference, right? So we have electronics, we have all kinds of stuff that is going on around us, around our electronics, around our technology, that, sometimes these cables can get interference and they don't work up to their full potential. So, I mean, for the microphone that I just got, I wanted to make sure that I got, if it's an expensive microphone, I want to make sure that I have a good quality cable. So I just bought, can't really see it, but Mogami Golds. These are some of the best studio XLR cables that I've seen. But again, those are kind of like personal preference. Some people will like other brands. Some people will like, certain brands. It's, you do your research, you listen to, tests, you see what you like, you see what kind of quality, what kind of, all that kind of good stuff. But doing your research, and you'll learn a lot. Man, there's so many nights where I can't even sleep because my brain is going from one point to another. I'm just like, okay, if I want to do this, how do I do that? And if I do this, can I do that? Well, how does this affect that? And it's just a crazy rabbit hole that I go through. It feels like almost every night. Oh, here's a good one. Learn how to DuckDuckGo. Yo, if you don't know about DuckDuckGo, you better ask somebody. DuckDuckGo is a very, very good search engine. It's made for the people by the people. So check that one out. Yeah, good point, B. Davy. Probably in the next 2 minutes. I'm Canadian. I can't help it. I'm sorry. Boom. Oh, people want to talk about Prime discounts. Okay, we can do that. There's all kinds of stuff going on for Prime. Let's see. Let's go to Prime. This Prime thing has been driving me nuts because you guys in the States are getting all kinds of Prime, and I ain't getting none of that. But I'll share my screen. All right, so I'm on Amazon here. Some of the ways that I go about looking up information, say there's a brand that I really like. Let's say Samsung, right? So I'll literally type in Samsung. Hold on a second here. Sorry, guys, 1 second. There we go. All right, so some of the things that I do is I literally just type in the brand that I'm looking for. And along the left-hand side, I will go down, and you should have an option that says today's deals. Did I pass it? It's probably because I'm not signed into my account. I don't want to sign into my account right now. Usually you'll have an option that says today's deals. Today's deals here. But if you search like a certain brand, then along the left-hand side, you'll see that option. But because I'm not signed in, you're not going to see that right now. So it depends on what you're looking for. There's so many good deals to find. Let's see. Prime discounts. Okay. You know what? See, I'm so far behind in the chat. You guys are talking about one of the reasons you guys have Prime. Sorry, guys. I'm so all over the place today. I apologize. You know what? That's a huge reason, because some of the sales that you can grab on some of this stuff, they're good. They're a good bang for your buck. But what's one of the things that I usually say? It's a ratio. Time and money. Some of these things that you see as deals on Prime Day or Prime discounts, you can get other places. You just got to do your research, right? If you guys have a Chrome extension called Honey, right? If you add Honey to your browser, it'll tell you if the price has gone up or down recently. Because some of the stuff I'll tell you that you're seeing for Prime Day right now, you can get for the same price at other places like Best Buy. When we had Amazon Prime Day here in Canada, and Amazon only let me buy 2 Fire Sticks, I'll tell you, I went to Best Buy and grabbed way more than 2. So sometimes you can get a good deal by doing your research. Now here's a good point. Prime content, TV shows, movies, audiobooks, and music. One of the things that is interesting when it comes to, supporting content creators, right? People do things like super chats. People do things like, super stickers. People do things like memberships, stuff like that. But Amazon in itself is kind of like a content creator. They come out with original content. They purchase other companies. They have audio book companies. They have obviously movies and TV shows. Music. They have their own Prime Music. Like there's so many things that they do to create content for you. So is getting a Prime membership another way of supporting more content that you're going to potentially enjoy and be happy to consume? Is there not value in that? And that's completely up to you to determine that, right? Nobody's going to come in here and be like, well, you should get Prime because this and this. If there's no value in something for you, that's completely up to you to decide that. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not going to sit here and be like, well, you should get Prime because you should support, original content, because if you don't support their original content, then they're going to stop creating it. Like, not everybody is fortunate enough to keep dishing out and supporting every venture that's in the world, right? So you got to do what's right for you. Yeah. So they have reduced the quality, and they've increased the price. I think it was today, Netflix increased their prices to like $17 for their top tier, right? Daladina says trusted sources or stores or places you know and trust. I mean, you gotta build your utility belt of places that you can go, that you can trust, that can give you the right information. Not everybody's going to be right all the time either, so don't just rely on one person. Uh, I don't know. That's kind of a touchy subject for me because what do they say? Ignorance is bliss, because 99% of the time it's something either on somebody's end or that they're ignorant about, right? Like, let's say you're trying to stream a 4K video file that you find for free that's not coming through a debrid service, and it's 8 gigs in size. Guarantee you that whatever file host that 4K file is hosted on isn't going to be able to output the bandwidth for you to stream that, right? So when I say ignorance is bliss, because you see it and you click it and your stuff is good on your side, doesn't mean that it's going to play perfectly. You have to understand the situation. You have to understand what you're connecting to. You have to understand how the applications and the file host works to really get the best experience out of it, you know? Hey, that is a good profile picture. Did you make that yourself? I just noticed that you don't have a generic one anymore. It looks pretty good. And here's a very valid point, right? Sometimes you have to have these services because of the people in your house. You can't force them to cut the cord. You can't force them to cable shave or whatever you want to call it. At the end of the day, it is what it is. What's up, ICC? I know you guys are doing a live show too around the same time. So thanks for coming over and showing your support. Yeah. So, is there a way to remove the adult section in a live TV service? So, one, if you're looking to permanently remove it, chances are your service provider should be able to do that for you. Most situations they're able to. If they're not, then 99% of the applications out there, you're able to either remove it from displaying it, or you're able to lock it with a PIN number. So if you're using something like IPTV Smarters, you would go into the settings, you would set up your parental controls, and then after you enter PIN number twice to set it up, then you can lock whatever categories you don't want to see. Now, this is also valid if you only want to watch certain sections. Like, let's say you only want to watch the US entertainment sections, but you get 100 other categories in a TV service. Then go in there, set up your parental controls, and hide every single one of the categories you're never going to watch. It'll give it a nice, clean experience. You'll be able to just open it up, see what categories you want, and jive right into it, right? So a lot of these applications have it. XCIPTV has it. Smartest has it. TV Mate, I'm pretty sure, yeah, they have the parental controls. Most of the applications have parental controls, which will either allow you to hide it completely or to lock it so it won't be played. And then, if you really want it removed, then talk to your provider. They should be able to remove that for you. And it's true because you're routing your connection. Josie says, I find reduced speeds when using a VPN. This is true, but sometimes you can actually get increased speeds because some of your providers could be throttling you. I know Rohas did a test and he got over what his ISP was providing because he was using a VPN. What I would say is try a couple different servers. Don't be afraid to test out their customer support. Most VPNs will give you a 30-day money back guarantee. Use those 30 days. I'm telling you, use those 30 days to test out their customer support. I'll tell you, I was hitting up my customer support all the time when I first got a VPN. I was like, I want to do this. How do I do that? I want to do this. How do I do that? On my media center PC, I'm not even using the VPN software that comes with my provider. I'm using a third party one just so I can do a little bit of other tweaks that I wanted to. You want to talk about that?
I find reduced speeds when using a VPN. Sure. So with a VPN, you guys got to keep in mind, when you're using a VPN, you are using a dedicated tunnel. The best way I could explain this is, imagine, okay, if you don't have a VPN, imagine you're on a freeway. You're on a freeway and you're driving along. Next thing you know, there's traffic. You start slowing down. There's a car in front of you that brakes hard and you got to stop all of a sudden. And then it clears up and you start moving. That's what the main freeway is what I like to compare it to, an ISP. That is your internet service provider. So sometimes they like to slow you down or completely stop you, or they'll start moving you along a little bit slower at a time. With a VPN, sometimes you see that, not the carpool lane, the express lane or the toll road or whatever you want to call it. You have that little transponder or transponder, and you're able to drive. You just go a little bit slower, and it's like a constant speed. You know what I mean? With that toll road or expressway, you might not be going as fast as you want, but it's a consistent speed without being, like throttled or slow down. You know what I mean? So with a VPN service, you do lose some speed because you are going through a dedicated tunnel, but it's going to be very consistent. Now, to get some of your speed, because I've heard people like, hey, I pay 100 megabytes and it went down to like 30 megabytes. You need to set your settings on there. So there's like a proxy that you could set in there. There's like a protocol that you could set in there. And I'm not even talking about choosing the best servers or the best whatever it is. There's a couple things that you have to set up depending on your modem, your router, your ISP, your location. There's a lot of things that go to it. I actually have a video that I did on it, on how to speed up your VPN service. But if you have those right settings, you could get pretty close to the speeds that you're paying for. And sometimes you could even see more speeds than what you're paying for, which I've actually have experienced getting a hell of a lot more speeds than what I pay for.
Yeah.
Sometimes best available does not mean it's the best to use. So when you're looking at servers and you're choosing your city, I would look at there it is, split. You could use your split tunneling also. I'll explain that in a minute too. When you're there looking at like the different servers and different countries and different cities and everything, when I pick, I'm just okay, cool. I want to do one in the United States, and then I'm gonna look at Los Angeles, and then I'm gonna look at the ping, the latency, like see what numbers it is. Sometimes the smallest number doesn't mean it's the best. So we always say the smaller the number, the better. But what you're going to run into is you're going to see some that say 11, 11, 11, 11, 12, 12, 13, 13, 14, 16, 17. All those numbers are very close to each other. So if I do if I check one of those pings, sometimes I won't do 11. Sometimes I'll be like, you know what, I'll just do 13 because that millisecond is so small you won't tell a difference.
I'd call that the margin of error.
Yeah, exactly. Now, if you see there's some numbers in there that are like 90, 100, 200, okay, then those are the ones that you should stay away from because again, you'll see the gaps. You'll see the gaps. So that's kind of what I would do. Now, when it comes to tunneling, there's some apps that you don't need to use a VPN. You shouldn't use a VPN. You got Hulu, Netflix, Prime, like stuff like that. If you're in the States, Peacock. Yeah. If you're in the States and you don't need to use those, or even Canada, if you're just like, hey, depending on where you're at in the world, some of these apps, you're just like, I don't really need a VPN. Should I turn it off or on? There's a way that called split tunneling that you could put some of those apps in there saying, these are the apps that I'm exempting from using the VPN. So if I turn on my VPN, it's on running in the background. If I go to Disney Plus, your VPN service is going to check if that app is on that ignore list. And if it is, the VPN won't be, it's not being used while you're streaming on that app. That's what that split tunneling is. So there's ways of doing the settings on there. I will say this, if you have a VPN service and it shrinks down your speed drastically, like I think I'm seeing somebody says I pay 500 and I get 500 and only get I pay 5 and only get 65 out of 80. Now, is that 65 through 80 with your VPN on or off? The other thing I did notice, and I've been going back and forth with several people about this the last 2 weeks, is what they're doing is they're saying, hey, I don't have my VPN on. I'm paying for 500 megabytes, but I'm buffering like crazy. First question I ask, what's your speed? And they're like, well, it's at 20. Why are you at 20? And they're like, I don't know. Like if I'm Netflixing, if I'm on Netflixing, if I'm on Hulu, if I'm Prime or Disney Plus, I don't have issues. But when I'm using this third-party app, all of a sudden I'm buffering. It's like, hold on a second. You're not answering the question. Why do you have 20 megabytes download speeds if you're paying for 500? But I'm not having I'm like, dude, I'm not asking you about your Netflix. If I start talking to you about Netflix and the differences, you're going to be lost. Just remember the easiest way, if it's a big name company like Netflix, Disney, Amazon, Hulu, they have millions upon millions of dollars, even billions of dollars to make these servers work. They do all the work for you. You know what? I've seen people with 5 megabytes download speeds that have zero issues with their Netflix and Hulu. And I've seen people with 100 megabytes of speeds have issues with their Netflix and Hulu. You got to look at a lot of different things. It could be your device. It could be like if you have memory or not stored in there. It could be what your modem and router is doing. Like you have to simply start troubleshooting it. And the best thing to do is internet speed is the very first thing that I check. If it's down to 20 and I'm supposed to be at 500, okay, what's wrong?
And here's another thing too. Like speaking on that, some people have two different premium services, like live services, and they'd be like, well, this other one's not buffering. Well, there's a reason we ask you to restart your stuff, even if one is buffering and the other isn't. Like, you got to clear your cache. And some of the easiest ways to do that is restarting your devices. Like, it needs that reboot sometimes just to reconnect to the server properly. Your connection to that server needs to be strong. Just because you're getting one application with one service working and the other one isn't, doesn't mean that it's the service. There's so much more to it than that. There really is, right? It could be the application. The application itself could be having issues. I've seen so many people that were using an outdated version of Smarters and was always complaining about issues because Smarters, I call it a cache junkie. Like, eventually it would just, I don't know, F itself up with cache and start tripping over itself. And the simplest thing was just clear your data, log back into the application, and it works brilliantly, right? Sometimes you just got to do these things, but you got to start the troubleshooting process with restarting your stuff and then going from there, testing your speeds, going from there. Like, you have to.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff. And then the other thing too is, okay, Vincent's saying he pays for 1 gig of service, but gets 650 with no VPN and 120 with VPN. Now here is what I would say to that. Why are you getting 650 megabytes if you're paying for 1 gig? That's the first issue I would look at. If that is happening, because again, people will say, like what he just said, I'm only getting 120 megabytes with my VPN turned on, and I'm having buffering issues. And the buffering issues could be, hey, I have a lot of different, like for me, I have a lot of things in my home, a lot of smart devices, so I use a lot of stuff. What I would say is, if I pay for a gig and I'm losing about 40% of my speeds without anything else, the first thing I would say is I would be hitting them up and say, I need you to fix it. I need you to fix the modem, the router, the cable, whatever the hell it is. I'm paying for a gig. I want to see a gig. And a lot of these companies, don't let them push you around, because this is what they're going to say. They're going to say, well, you're paying up to a gig. You're paying up to a gig. Okay, cool. If they have another plan that's 750 gigs, then be like, okay, if I'm paying up to a gig, why don't I go down to 750 megabytes? Because if I'm only getting about 650, I should still get about 650 if I'm moving my plan down, right? Because I'm getting up to. Cool. So that's kind of where that's kind of where I stand. I would have them. I have a bunch of smart devices, but streaming devices are hardwired. Yeah. So that's the first thing I would check out. Like, in all seriousness, I would ask them that I've talked about Cat 8 cables. Cat 8 Ethernet cables are important. Make sure you have the right cables. A lot of the times what they like to do is they like to put the Cat 5e cable. A Cat 5 cable, I think, runs 100 megabytes speeds. A Cat 5e cable, I think, runs 1,000 megabytes of speeds. But you got to remember, it's not just one speed. Those wires in each Ethernet cable, they run 4 in and 4 out. So it's 1,000 megabytes or 1 gig of information split up between 8. And the biggest thing I tell everybody is divide it by 8. What is that one number? That is possibly the speed off of that one cable. And if you're just like, well, I got a 5e cable and I'm getting about 650, let's say, is your cable hot? That's the next thing I start asking. If it's hot because it's pushing so much power, do yourself a favor, get a Cat 8 cable. That Cat 8 cable, I think it's like 40 gigs of speeds that you can get. Now, again, do the math. If you have 40 gigs of speeds and you got 8, take half of that away. How much speeds you got left? 20. Take half of it away. How much speeds you got? 10 gigs. Take that half away. How much speeds you got? 5 gigs. That's how you start troubleshooting your own equipment. And you should be able to see it. And you know what? Sometimes, even though, this is another thing too that you guys should be looking into, whatever cables they're giving you, You also have to be sure that coaxial cable outside in your lawn that's coming into your house is also the right type of cable that's coming in. The modem and router that they give you, if it's a combo or if it's two separate, you got to be sure that that thing is compatible to push certain speeds, because those things could say like, oh, I can only push up to 500 megabytes and you're getting about 600. I bet you that thing is hot. And if that thing is running hot, you are going to be buffering no matter what. It doesn't matter what your speed is. If that thing is running hot, you're going to be having issues. It's running too hard. That's my rant.
Before we get too far into anything else, we're about 10 minutes away, 15 minutes away from the end of the stream. Before I lose anything else, I want to say thank you for Stephen R for joining the membership, as well as Nige for becoming a YouTube member. I appreciate that. Again, your support, it's like I wouldn't be able to do anything that I'm doing right now without your guys' support. So thank you again. Mibzen, you don't have to do that, but thank you. I really do appreciate it. You help out a lot with what we have going on, both in Rohas's chat, his groups, my chat, all that kind of good stuff. We appreciate you a lot. Feel the Cable, thank you for the $6 super chat. He says, hey, Next Level, the Amazon Insider. I'm not really an Amazon Insider, but hey, it is what it is. I really appreciate you for what you do for us in the streaming community, even though you're Canadian. Whatever. I kind of like your reviews, man. The unboxings you do, I like them. I like them. So keep up what you're doing. Keep pushing out that great content on your side too. Cool. All right, I want to make sure I didn't miss anything else, because we could keep going about blocking and content and ISPs and routers and switches and hubs and meshes and I don't know, fishnets and
Just honestly, guys, just do your research. Like any time, like one of the things that I do is when I first moved into this new house a year ago, I put the modem in the router. The ones that they gave me, as he was pulling it out of the box, I'm asking questions. What modem is that? Oh, it's a Motorola. Wait a second. I didn't ask what brand it was. I'm giving you a very general question because I want you to give me everything generally about that question. What is it? You know?
It's like, I'm just trying to do my job. Get out of here.
Seriously. So if he says, oh yeah, well, he was trying to be a little smart ass too about it. I'm just like, look, what model number is it? He's like, well, it's this. Cool. What do you think I'm doing? I'm on my cell phone looking it up. Okay, cool. This thing is supposed to be pushing a gig of power, right? Yep. Okay, cool. What router is that? Well, I got this one. I'm researching it as he's plugging everything in. What cable are you putting in there? A 5E. That's the best cable you got? And they're like, well, you really don't need a 6 or a 7 because you're not running servers, and an 8 is just overkill. You're not running like a full-on business. Whoa, hold on a second.
You almost started a next level rant again.
Yeah. As soon as they tell me stuff like that, I'm just like, look, you don't know what I'm running in this house. And don't give me, yeah, don't give me random garbage crap. Don't try to I've gotten into arguments with some of them and they're like, well, we'll give you a Cat 6 cable. And I'm like, okay, I guess that's better than that stupid 5 cable. And then what did I do? I bought a Cat 8 cable later.
These cables and your Wi-Fi, right? Your connection to it, your devices that are connected to it are not only connecting to internet. Hold on a second. What did Next Level just say? You're not just connecting to internet. You can transfer files through your intranet. And depending on your router, depending on your cables, they can transfer at different speeds. Right? If you want to transfer
internet,
huh?
You need to explain internet. You can't just say internet and people know what you're talking about.
So there's a difference between internet and intranet. Internet is outside of your network and you're getting access to it. Intranet is stuff that is on your local setup inside of your house, things that you have connected to your router or your router that you don't necessarily need the internet for. you could still use a router and connect to stuff locally. You can do that and transfer files, right? So when you think about these things, maybe you're not transferring files right now, right? But maybe your kids are going to be going to college or university. Imagine if you could set up a cloud drive inside your house for them to use. I mean, a lot of us have Chromebooks or netbooks or laptops. They don't have the biggest hard drives. You could have a network drive where you could access all of your TV shows, your movies, if you wanted to go that route, or your local files, your personal videos, your personal pictures, or whatever they may be. And you don't want to waste time waiting for them to transfer, or you don't want to waste time by pulling out SD cards and walking over to external hard drives or whatever it may be. You want to do it all through your intranets. Now, your routers, your modems, your routers and your cables all determine how fast you can get these things done.
Yep. Surgeflex is saying my old Spectrum router and modem fried my Cat 8 cables, never using ISP equipment again. ISP, they try to limit your stuff, and yeah, stuff like that is what happens. I want to show something here. I got the Amazon website pulled up real quick. So this is a conversation that we started to talk about yesterday. A lot of people, including NxtLvL up here. Sorry, I gotta throw you out there. Sometimes you want to go cheap on cables because cables can be cheap. Now, what are you gonna say?
I'm not gonna lie. I am cheap on cables, but that's a short-term solution for me. My goal is to always get my cables to the next level, but I'll cheap out in the short term until I can afford something better. And I do. I'm not gonna lie. And that was the issue I was having my microphone yesterday. You notice how it hasn't been cutting out today?
The joke about it is he always tries to start at level 1 to get to the next level. So check this out. HDMI cables. This is a prime example here. When you have an HDMI cable here, check this out. 4K cable, $8. 2M high speeds, 18 gigabytes, HDMI, blah, blah, blah. HDMI cable here, 4K, 10 feet, $12. $13. These are I literally just did a search 4K HDMI cables. And we talked about this yesterday. Look, you get a 3-pack for $22. Like there's cables, and then of course here is now we start getting into some other prices, but as you can see, limited time deal, 4K at 60 frames a second. What you plug in absolutely matters. Now, yesterday I did talk about AudioQuest, and I did say if you want some good stuff, look at this AudioQuest. This is for 5 feet, $155 for chocolate. Of course, they're gonna throw somebody a sponsorship. Hey, wait, what about this 8K cable for $15? Don't do it. Don't do it. Look, 3-foot cable, $130 for this chocolate one. Pearl is the lowest of their low when it comes to AudioQuest. It goes Pearl, forest, cinnamon, chocolate, and then you start getting into like vodka and diamond and like some of these other ones. I always say if you want to go cheap on your cables, don't touch Pearl. You could try forest, but just pull out the extra $20-$30 and get those cinnamon cables. It makes there you go, mocha cable. These cables matter big time. And I mean big time. The better the cable you got, the better the quality it is. Just again, they put like you're not getting just a basic cable, bronze or whatever it is. Like these cables have like real silver in them. Silver sends the frequency a lot better. Look at this one. Cinnamon, 6 feet, $220. Here's the vodka cable, $400. like prices will go up as you keep searching for it. So I didn't, I wanted to tell you guys, it's like when you start looking at cables, when you start looking at different different stuff like this, don't go cheap. Just don't go cheap. Look like if you're gonna be like, hey, you know what? I'm gonna take your advice and check on a Cat 8 cable. Price them from high to low. Don't go low to high.
Ask the questions though. Like why?
Oh, well, if you go cheap, you're gonna get cheap.
No. But I'm saying, like, why is one $40 and one's $30? Like, why? Like, what makes the difference? You know what I mean?
It's cheap stuff that they put in there. It's you're gonna get stuff that's just low quality. It's gonna give you the basic stuff. It's
Read reviews. Like, there's a lot, everything. Like, even today, I was like, I gave my son an alarm clock. But before I go further, yo, Roland, enough respect for that. I see that my hat died. I had your name on it. I did, but my hat died. Enough respect for that super chat. I really do appreciate it, man. See, Roland hit me up last week and was like, hey, I got this issue. I got this problem. I'm trying to do this, and this. It's not working for me. And, I shot him a message and I recorded a video and I'm like, it's working fine on my side. And it was just something simple. Like I was clicking in a different section and logging in, and he was clicking on a different section and logging in, and we all got it sorted. So, I appreciate, you being patient with me when I get back to your messages, and I appreciate your support, man. Yeah. So, for instance, yesterday, I bought my son an alarm clock, right? And it came with all these fancy features, like it obviously, right? It has like this sunlight that starts to glow when it comes closer to the time when you're supposed to wake up to imitate the sunrise, or like waking up in the morning or something. And then it also has a projector that projects the time on the ceiling. So when I ask him, hey, it's bedtime, do you know what time it is? He can't be like, Dad, I don't know. It's on your ceiling. It's in front of you. It's on your stand. Like, time's there. So he didn't figure out how to set up the projector, and he didn't figure out how to set up the alarm on it. And I was like, did you pull up the review on YouTube? He goes, I didn't know there was a review on YouTube. Like, dude, you were born in 2007. YouTube came out in 2005. I shouldn't know that I can YouTube everything. You should just be born into that. Like you know what I mean? You should know everything's on YouTube. Like there are just like there's reviews on Fire Sticks and shields. There's literally reviews on cables. There's reviews on everything. When I was picking my new cable for my microphone, I was legit watching reviews on interference, on all kinds of stuff. And I know I'm kind of a nerd or a geek or whatever you want to call me for that. But hey, if you're passionate about something and you want something out of it and you're going to spend the money, what am I getting for it? What am I getting for spending my money on this?
Now, yeah, like Blade right now is saying, no sense in buying a $200 HDMI cable when your TV was $200. Well, that's the thing. If you're buying cheap, if you're like, hey, I'm going to buy this 4K TV that's right here, and it's like an upscale, it's not real 4K, it just looks really pretty. It's a high quality 1080. Yeah, for sure. It's not going to, it doesn't make sense to buy an expensive cable, buy a cable that's going to work. But here's the thing. If you buy a $200 TV and you buy a $5 cable, you're not giving that TV a chance to do anything. A $5 HDMI cable is garbage, period. Yeah, period. And here's the other thing too. What a lot of people do, which for me, I think it's kind of silly. They'll say, hey, I just spent what are you reading? I'm reading the comments. XC text. I don't know what the question is. If somebody says, I just bought a $200 TV and I just bought myself an NVIDIA shield and I just bought myself a $5 cable and I'm trying to watch a 4K movie. You know what I'm saying? You're like bouncing all over the place. I would say pick something very, I don't know. Just do your research. Exactly what NxtLvL was saying. Just do your research before you buy anything. I made the mistake on buying this TV right here, thinking it's going to be 4K, and then when I plugged in the Fire Stick, it's telling me like it's actually 1080, and I'm like, you're lying to me.
Here's another thing, right? There is a value and a cost to somebody putting their word on the table. These cables that Rohas and I are talking about, most of the time, if not all the time, come with what?
Warranty.
Lifetime, not just any kind of warranty. So if Rohas is telling you, yo, these cables are legit, right? I'm going to spend $200-$300 on these HDMI cables. I'm going to show you this comment right here. This comment, where is it? Where is it? I just seen it. Yo, Audio Quest made a huge difference for me when I first bought my 4K TVs 5 years ago with a lifetime warranty, right? You never got to buy another HDMI cable.
Now, here's the thing too. You don't have to buy a $7,000 TV. You could spend, and I know people are still kind of like, oh, I don't want to do that. But this is what blows my mind, guys. This is what really blows my mind. If I say, hey, go buy a $1,500 TV. Go buy a $1,500 TV. I'm going to tell people, like, people are going to tell me, like, dude, you're dumb. You are ridiculous. You're crazy. Why am I going to spend more than $1,000 on a TV when they have all these sales? Here's the interesting thing. Every 2 years, you're spending about $1,000 on a cell phone, on something that is so small that you put in your pocket. Yet you don't want like exactly what you're spending your quality time with on your TV with the family and everybody. Some people say like, hey, I found a really good TV for like $400, $500. Cool. If you got a steal, awesome. If you got a good deal, great. Do it. I'm telling you, save just a little bit more money, get something a little bit better, and then you don't have to spend $200 on an HDMI cable. You could spend like the Forest or Cinnamon. It could be under $100, and you get a good cable that works. You can get an NVIDIA Shield. Perfect. You know, my Samsung TV, my second Samsung TV, not my main one, but the other one is a 65-inch. And I think I want to say I spent like $1,200 in 2012. It's a smart interchangeable TV. Thing works beautifully still. I got a Cinnamon cable back then. It's still on it. Thing works good. I got a DVD player on it. The Blu-ray. It's a Blu-ray 4K 3D, some ridiculous, insane at that time DVD player. I have good cables on there. I think I walked out of the store under $2,000. I got me a TV. I got me a sound bar for it. I got me a Blu-ray. And I got me all the cables that I needed and an NVIDIA Shield. It's been 8 years. No issues with that TV.
So here, I'm going to do this. Thank you, Vincent. I don't think I was able to actually, because we've been ranting. This show's been a little bit fired up today. So we've been ranting. I haven't really been able to give proper shout outs. So thank you again. To add on to, this is going to be the last thing we're going to say, because Butcher's show is starting like literally in a minute. And I'm just going to spew this out there to add on to what Rohas just said. Live or build your streaming experience within your means. Everything Rohas just said, that's within his means, right? That's what he wants, right? Understand your budget and understand how to get the best experience from that budget. If you're like, I'm going to cut everything and I only have $200 to spend for a year, does that mean you're going to go get an NVIDIA Shield? No, because you're not going to get the best experience for that year, because you might want things like Real to Brid. You might want a premium TV service. But then again, you might just want to go a NVIDIA Shield and get everything for free. You have to understand what you want. You have to understand what your budget is. If your budget is literally for that whole year just to get a NVIDIA Shield and you don't even have a 4K TV, Are you putting a Corvette engine into a Pinto? Like, understand what you want from your streaming experience and build it and upgrade it accordingly. Understand, okay, this is all I have. This is what I have to budget. How do I get the best bang for my buck? And if I was going to upgrade something, what's the next thing that I should upgrade? How do I take this to the next level and do it in a smart way? Like, I've seen people like talking about, routers and doing your own kind of and systems and stuff like that. Honestly, there are so many good third-party routers and modems out there right now for cheap. For cheap. Rohas just did a fantastic review on a company I don't even think I've heard of before. And it had like what, a 4,000 square foot radius on a mesh system. Like, there are some bangers out there right now on the cheap that is going to get you good systems. You can't go wrong with mesh. You can't. So I'm just saying, understand what you want from your experience, live within your means, build your streaming experience to be exactly what you want it to be. And I mean, personally for myself, always look how to take it to the next level. That's just me. And that next level doesn't have to mean, how am I going to buy that 8K TV? That next level could literally be, how am I going to get that, that Cat A cable? Or how am I going to get a better TV? And if I need a better TV, should I upgrade my HDMI cable? These are the questions that you guys should be asking, doing the research, taking it to the next level. I mean, I hope that we gave you something. We went past 5 o'clock, and I'm sorry, Butch, if you're watching, but we're going to jump over there for a few minutes. Rojas, anything you want to say to the good people before we go?
Just real quick, Roland says he's got all chocolate cables. I am jealous. Chocolate cables are pretty good. He's got all chocolate cables. And then the other thing too is Canuck Mark says HDMI can handle audio specs that optical can't. I actually run dual. I run specifically HDMI Audio Quest just for my video, and then I run Audio Quest optical just for my audio. I run everything separate, dedicated lines. But honestly, guys, it's do your research. Just do your research. Make sure you guys join the Telegram groups. Check the description below. We are there. We're constantly helping people out. So just always go in there and ask questions. That's the best spot that you guys can find us. So as always, you guys take care of each other. Thanks for having me on the show, and we'll see you guys next time.
Big shout out to all the supporters today, all the people who upgraded their memberships, who joined the membership squad, super chats, super stickers, all that kind of good stuff. And we'll see you guys over on Butcher's show. As always, stay humble and be patient, and we'll see you guys in the next one. Peace
Out.